why is it that there is this sudden shift to African people? Why are people seeing African men so viable? Why are other people seeing African women so viable? A lot of people, a lot of different races are coming to Africa to seek love, marriage. You know, why is this happening today? This is Eugene, the African Kid, and shalom, brothers and sisters. So today's video, we are going to see this Asian woman tries to explain why people, other races, including white people, leaving their places to go and find love in Africa. Why is it so Africa? So we are yet to find out from also a sociologist who has studied human relationship, which is past human race and everything. So let's watch the video and come back. And my urge is this: kindly, if you're watching this video for the first time, kindly hit the subscribe button. It's just looking at you. Please get me 1,000 subscribers. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers, which is an important milestone to a creator like me. So let's, guys, after subscribing, now let's watch the video and come back.
Video going around where American women are getting kind of upset that men are leaving America to find their woman. But they go to places where women speak a little English, no education whatsoever. However, that's not the reason. The reason why men do that is because the women out there are loving, caring, nourishing, feminine, and the food top notch. So it's like essentially what a man want. I'm Chinese, I'm from Hong Kong. We do shit on men a lot. We are bossy. However, we do been praising them when they're being an excellent man. Versus, I've seen a lots of women in America, they would be like, as he should. You see the difference? Like, that's just very ungrateful.
First of all, I don't think that American women are upset that, these men are going to foreign countries to find a wife. The reason why the women are rebutting is because most of these men, especially the black ones, they keep saying that American women, specifically black women, are disrespectful, they are not submissive, they're aggressive, and they are not a wife material, and we're not raised to be wives. That is the reason why these American women are rebutting. You can have your preference. If these men were coming on TikTok saying that, you know what, I grew up in a traditional home, I am a traditional man, I have the capability to afford a traditional relationship, and so I'm going to countries where women are raised to be more traditional to find a wife, I don't think any woman will complain or rebuttal. The reason why American women, specifically black American women, are rebutting is because most of these men belittle their own women just to emphasize their preference. Also, you talk about, being able to cook and being feminine and being traditional and all that. That is good. I think that cooking is a life skill. So cooking doesn't make you a woman. Honestly, cooking is a life skill that all human beings are supposed to have. So I don't think you're supposed to brag on that. That being said, there's one thing that I have noticed in this particular discourse, This is the thing that I have noticed. Most of these Asian women who support the passport bros keep saying that we are nurturing, we are caring, we were raised to be wives, we are feminine, and that is the reason why these men want us, and that is fine. However, have you guys sat to thought about the fact that these men are also a reflection of their society? They say that their women are not raised to be wives, but you think that these men are raised to be husbands. That is something you should think about. American men are also a reflection of their own society. Most of these men, irrespective of race, were not raised to be husbands, okay? There is a research indicating that America as a country has the highest rate of single parents in the entire world, beating over 130 countries to it. So this is to emphasize the fact that these men are also not husband materials, but they want traditional wives, and most of you are not thinking and putting this thing into context. You guys think that a group of men whose women are apparently not raised to be wives, are not feminine, are not submissive, do not have respect, you think that these men, on the other hand, are raised to be husbands. Y'all need to go Google the concept of 50-50. And I say this as somebody who is external looking into the American society. I am originally from Ghana, West Africa. And in my culture, men pay for everything. Those men do not need to be rich, or they do not need to have a lot of money. They understand that they are providers. So wherever you go in the Ghanaian community, you will see men striving to provide and just step up. However, in North America, we have the 50-50 concept. These men show up and expect a woman to provide 50% of the bill, yet they expect a traditional relationship. So before most of you Asian women begin to feel special, like you have something above these American women, specifically Black women, just remember, are these men not a reflection of their own society? Were they raised to be husbands? And did they see an example of who a husband is in their own home? These are key questions you should be asking before you start feeling flattered. Remember that American men and American women are a reflection of their own society. My name is Dr. Zita. I keep it real. Guess what? Hit the follow button.
I was going to ask you, Lala was here last week, and she was talking about she likes African men because African men spend money on their women. Now,
Yeah,
Nene
I
also
saw
has an
that.
African man, and Nene says the same. So we're asking you, is it something that the culture, why is that?
I think it's part of our culture and upbringing. Like, you need to be the man of the house. You need to take care of the home. So that translates into how we deal with, our women as well.
Why I prefer not to get married to an American woman is because most American women are wired for divorce. Many of them come into your life just to divorce you. They are okay with going through a divorce. They are not willing to take any hit. Any little thing. I'm about to go to the car. I'm about to go to court and get a divorce with you right now, man. I ain't playing with you, boy. I don't want you no more. I'm going to check out this relationship. I do not want to go through that. Most American women live on fast food. Checkers, KFC, Popeye chicken, and McDonald's. I do not want to go through having to buy food every day outside. This is one reason why I would prefer to get married to an African woman, because African women, they have been trained to make food in the house. They have been trained to stay in relationships no matter what happens. It's very difficult for an African woman to get a divorce.
And the key word that he used was most African women have been trained to stay in marriages no matter what. And that is so sad, but it's so true. They've been trained to keep up the facade. They've been trained to keep the good family name. They've been trained to get killed in marriages. They've been trained to take any type of abuse as long as they stay married. And I hope that they get to realize marriage is not a do or die. And for him saying that American women can't cook, that's a lie, because I know a few.
So true, yes, I've also observed African preference increasing highly since the 21st century. And I realized that it is how a man is raised, it represents the place where he comes from, as these sociologists has tried to explain. I'm also a sociology student, and I highly resonate with everything that she says. But I want you to see this. We, as human beings, we need to look things past color, past race. This is important because today, when you get a woman, I'm not a love coach or something, but I'm trying to explain to you through a human perspective, outside race, outside gender, but I'm going to cover this intersectionality. You see, when you settle down with a person, be it black person or a white person, or it doesn't matter. Things that matter is what is their upbringing styles, what number of children do they want, what makes them happy. And I think if we ask ourselves these questions, things to do with preferring given race of people to marry or not marrying from a given race will be important. See, I had a black folks saying this, okay, and it's something which is always there. So a person from the black community said this: I ever had a problem And people from my black community never helped me. I was going through a lot of depression. My wife never helped me. Bear in mind that these are black people. Do you know the reason why I'm using something which a black person said? It is because people are preferring black people for marriage, and also this is something which has always been there. Most of people are preferring white men rather than their races because they feel that black men are masculine more than those people. But look at this thing in this way. We Africans, it's true, we are taught to be masculine. For example, when a boy reaches 18 years old, he begins to be dependent. He begins to be dependent, and some things, for example, if the parents could have been buying them, some personal things, they will stop buying them, and they'll make them find ways of getting this. Talking from an experience, yeah, it happened to me, and it's something which has always been there. So the upbringing for a person, it's different, and so we as Africans, we are taught to detach from dependence from our parents and to stand as people. So this is a masculine thing which happens to African men. But then that's aside. As I said, I'm not a love coach or something, but I'm used to explain a couple of concepts. Now, the second thing is this one. I think if we want to end up with a person, it should be the person that sees us far away behind our colors. Like today, if I'm getting a woman, I want to marry a woman, for instance, I will look at their objectives aligns with mine. Our beliefs same. Doesn't matter which color, which race they are, but do we have the same belief system? Do we have a couple of things that resonates us together? And yes, the other sister said that a lot of African women tolerate the things that African men do to them. Okay, and I want you to understand this. Formal education in Africa teaches you how to be a woman. Okay, and this is something which is being fought by the introduction of feminism, which I'm not against. To some point, they're right because yeah, most of African women get mistreatment from toxic husbands, and yeah, they can't live because they are told that this is something which is special, and it's true. I can remember I call her auntie. Let me give you a story. So while we were kids back then, this is an African setting story, which is uh, based on the true story. So this is something which happened while we were kids. I could see my auntie coming back to our place, to our grandparents' place, and then my grandmother could ask her, "What's the problem? I mean, you should not leave your marriage just because of a mere problem." And with time, I later on came to learn that yes, in Africans we are being taught how to persevere a lot of problems which happen in our marriage, and I think in some way this thing attracts other races to to come and feel like I want something which is long lasting, so let me go down in Africa and get some love. And it's true, a couple of people of races, which is true, have been seeing African women or African men as a potential people to engage in relationship. Men are seen as providers, African men are seen as providers, not bragging, which is true because we are taught to be dependent as young as possible. So this is something which is there. But again, don't marry or don't get married to African race because you feel like our women are being so persevere in marriages. Remember, things are changing. Women knows their rights today. and which is a good thing. Yeah, everyone should know the right. When something is wrong, people speak out. And I could amplify what this Ghanaian sociologist said. He said that the environment that we people are bred makes us to become who we are, which also reflects itself even in marriages. I'm not in any marriage. I'm just a young person, but I'm giving you my perspective as a person who has done this research, as a person who also does a sociology student. So yeah, so there's a couple of things that I resonate with her. And we as people, we need to see people beyond their color, their race, and what they can do for us. How do you feel as a person? And I understand, bearing that today marriages are transactional, marriages are economical. This is because of capitalism. So whereas we have that feminism, which also is there, to be a man, to provide this, to be masculine. And this is what Africans, and I'm not saying that other races are not doing this, they are doing this, but majority of Africans are well taught this. And I don't blame the West for having, this feminism, which has also affected the upbringing of young men in Western parts of the continent, I mean, the world. So, tell me what you think in the comment section about this. Because this is something which is happening to us. This is something which we live with. And me, don't have a problem with the person chasing the people they love, whether it's coming to Africa, finding the person they love, whether it's going to the United States, getting the person they love. I mean, there is no problem with that. At the end of the day, it's about how you feel as a person, but not how the society wants you to feel. So thank you guys for always staying tuned. This is Eugene the African Kid, and see you in my next video. And guys, a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly hit the subscription button and get me 1,000 subscribers. I'll highly appreciate. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.